are you going to find all the energy to do all that?
Oh, the sun is still on, so it's not run out.
Even with…
They tell me that it could last for another 1.5 billion years, so 83 days is not much.
One thing I was asking myself when I was watching the video was, why and how did you get interested in soil? I know you did a lot of work on rivers and water, which was very… something that people can touch and understand. Why and how did you choose and decide to pick up soil as a key topic?
I did not pick up soil, I came out of soil. I'm just trying to remind everybody that's true with you also. There's one guy here, I don't know if you saw him, he's all smeared in soil. He's called the soil man. Did you see that guy? So that is a soil man. What are you, I'm asking? Hello? All the same thing. So, this is a bit hard to explain logically, but I know now it looks cliched because now you are the earthworm. What do? I've been calling myself a worm because I'm made like this. People don't understand this because they always think there is a certain knowledge behind me. No, I got a completely empty head, totally empty. So because of that, I'm like a worm, I've crawled on this planet. I've been here for 6.5 decades. If I don't know how life works within me, I must be either a Martian or a bloody fool. Hello? No, I'm just here. People say, oh, we've also lived on the planet, how come we didn't see it? No, you have not lived on the planet. You have been living in your head. I don't know what the hell is there. Because you live in your head, your own thoughts and emotions have become far bigger than why the planet. Your thoughts and emotions are bigger than the cosmos, isn't it so? Hello? I have no such thoughts and emotions. I just crawl on this planet like a worm and you know I'm a unlicensed rotary wing pilot, so I fly at 5,000 feet usually. So when I look down at people, they all look like worms crawling around, and they are, they don't realize till you bury them. Till then they don't get it. So, I have no interest in soil. I'm soil. I don't know what you're made of.
That's a good question. And when building on that, why are… because we are soil, why is soil not at the center more than it is today? I think soil… everyone's talk about forests, about oceans, and somehow soil has been missing up to now.
I need every human being on the planet right now. So I don't want to be very critical. Why? There's a whole lot of stuff behind it. Leave that aside because why have they ignored soil? You must ask them, or you must do… little young people are here, you must do some research. Why is it people are avoiding talking about soil? What is the issue? You must look at it, there's a whole lot of stuff behind that. Anyway, now the important thing is, see, people like to talk about rainforest. Most of them have never been in a rainforest, believe me. They have not, they don't know what's a rainforest. I've lived in jungles in southern India, in the Western Ghats, which are rainforests. If I went in for 2-3 weeks in the jungle by myself, and by the time I came out, when I came back home, even my mother wouldn't recognize me. Head to toe, I would be bitten by insects, my very shape would have changed. It would take another 4 days to get back to normal shape. Everything, from head to toe, every millimeter of the body, all these creatures would have tasted. They won't leave you. I encountered tigers, I encountered very close encounters with elephants, and the wild buffaloes of the southern India, they were all okay. When you came out, the biggest impression on you were these insects because they will explore you. And why I'm saying this is why we are missing the point. See, in the world, I'm not saying this is not important. Right now we are concerned about the panda becoming extinct. Yes, it's a concern. Tiger, they've recovered a bit, but I'm glad they paid attention and they recovered, the numbers have come back. We are concerned about exotic things. But suppose, please do not misunderstand that I don't care for the tiger. I come from tiger country where we have immense regard and love for this animal. It's a magnificent animal. You have… I don't know if you read English poetry or what German, is it? Here, tiger, tiger burning bright. Do you know that? No? Tiger, tiger burning bright, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? This poem and my encounters with tiger has a very deep, profound impression on me, but suppose there were no tigers in this world, still it would go on. What you need to understand is 80% of the biomass insects have gone in the last 70 years. But you think insect is a damn thing that must go. What you don't understand is, if tigers go away, you will still live. If all the insects go away, in 4.5 to 6 years, life on this planet will end. Yes. If all the worms go away, within 18 to 24 months, life on this planet will end. If all the microbial life goes away, it will end right now. So we have not understood the significance of how life is made. Because of microbial life in the soil, we are a consequence of that. Even in the evolutionary scale of things, we are a consequence of that. So our priorities are about something bright and beautiful. We have not looked at, it's just brown, soil. We look at the sky. It's nice, you look at the sky, I'm not against it. It is fine, but if you lose your fundamentals and then focus on something else on the top, well, you'll pay a price. That's what is happening right now. So soil has been ignored because it's under your feet. It was taken for granted, always. It's there.
It's true. It's true, and what you say about the soil being dirty and neglected in a way is often present. Today we were…
The word dirt, we must address this.
Exactly.
In many nations, many cultures, they refer to soil as dirt. If that is dirt, all of us are dirt bags, hello? At least you must admit that.
Yeah, it's true, and I was saying, we were in the field today and we take some companies to the field and we try to… they all commit to regenerative agriculture. A lot of companies have made these commitments now publicly. They realize, and often driven by the climate agenda. But when the executives and the leaders from these companies are trying to understand what it is, they've disconnected from the earth and from nature. They live in the city, they have their careers, and so we take them to the field. And today we were near Lyon in France, taking them to touch the soil. And one of the ladies, she's a manager of a big business and she's the CEO. She didn't want to touch the earthworm. She refused. And we tried to put the dirt in her hand, and she was…
You're calling the dirt too?
No. You said it was dirt.
No,
I was trying to put…
No, I very much understand what you're
and
saying. It's unfortunate that a lot of people think they're above the earth.
Let's call it soil then. So I was putting the soil in her hand, and there was an earthworm, and she didn't want to touch it. She was scared of it. And many people are scared of earthworms. So how do we make them love earthworms as much as they love tigers?
Loving a tiger is a dangerous thing. Earthworm is very safe. So, that is what this is about, to shift the narrative in the planet, to make people understand it's a living soil, it's not an inert substance. And the shocking thing is, even today, most agricultural ministries in the world still address soil as an inert substance that they could manage by adding this chemical and that chemical. No, it's the largest living system, not just on the planet. In the known universe, this is the largest and the most sophisticated living system. But unfortunately, people are still treating soil as an inert substance because the life is microbial. Anyway, for your information, your body itself is 60% microbial life. Only 40% use your parental genetics. Young people, next time your mother, father tries to tell you what to do, you can tell them you're only 20%.
Should have known that before.
Yes. I knew it right from the beginning.
And one thing I've remarked is that we are in a world where we want to quantify everything. So you can quantify a hectare of forest. Now everyone is quantifying tons of carbon, and I think it's a good thing for starting to measure how we can progress towards fighting climate change. But how do we measure soil? And I think that it's like the researchers and the people that are working on that, they are a bit like soil, they're a bit underground. They're coming to the surface slowly, but it's like it's missing somehow, the measurements and the ability to characterize. But then the question is, can we really do it? It's a very complex system with multiple interactions, and sometimes I wonder, in an attempt to do that, isn't it a challenge that we have ourselves, that we want to measure everything? We want to characterize everything, put everything in a box, and can soil be put in a box?
So this is important that you brought up this subject. If we measure you, we will know your weight, your height, different aspects. What is your shoulder, what's your waist, what your this, what is your that. Do we know anything about you by these measurements, I'm asking? Hello? You will know nothing about an individual person by measuring this and that, isn't it? Even if you measure the size of your heart or liver or kidney, doesn't say a damn thing. It could be a big heart, may burst next moment. So, this measurement business is simply because we're trying to logically deduce life itself into a few numbers. Because we have this problem, your education has brought this problem to you, first you must understand and then you will do it. Let me bring it to your awareness. You have not understood a damn thing about your life. Do you know where you come from and where you will go? Hello? So how come you're living? You shouldn't live. Because if you don't understand, you don't do it, right? So you don't understand a thing about this life, but you're living. So you need to understand the same is true with every other life. You don't understand a thing about it. Can I tell a small story?
Yeah, please, please.
This is my story, that people… when I was 4 or 5 years of age, I suddenly realized I don't know anything. Don't know anything means don't know anything at all. That is, if you give me a glass of water, I'm staring at this water for hours on end, because I don't know what it is. I know how to use it, of course, but I don't know what it is. Even today you don't know what it is. It's the only substance found on the planet in all 3 states, But do you know what it is? With all your scientific knowledge, you still do not know one atom in its entirety. You know how to use it, you know how to fuse it, you know how to break it, you know how to make a bomb out of it, but you don't know what it is, even today. That is true with an atom, and that is true with everything. in creation. So, this pompousness of thinking, we got it, you haven't gotten anything. Hello? It's important to understand that we don't understand a damn thing, but we can learn to live. We can learn to live. If you learn to live, you will understand being in harmony with everything around you is the best way to live. So if you come to this, then naturally you will pay attention to every life. Tiger and ant, both have been made with exquisite care, whoever made it or whatever made it. Hello? You've never paid an attention to an ant because it's just an ant. I've paid a lot of attention to them because they've eaten something of me and I've also eaten something of them. Yes. So, if you pay enough attention to an ant, it's an exquisite machine, unbelievable. If any of you want to design an automobile, you must look at an ant. If you can make a machine like that, oh my God, it'll go anywhere you want, on anything, on any terrain, boom, it'll go. Yes or no? So, unfortunately, we have gotten into this measurement business. Who is important, who is not important, who is big, who is small, what is up, what is down, what is God, what is devil. We've made these decisions about everything. This fundamental thing about putting one above the other is the problem. That translates into everything, which has also brought us here. Tiger is more important than the ant, somewhere. I must tell you this, you know, when my daughter was growing up, when she was 3.5 months old, she started traveling with me alone. And she was driving with me, just by herself with me, and I tie her up.
On the motorbike?
No, on a car. So, I'm driving all over the place. Wherever I go, I'm staying in so many different people's homes. And she's growing up in different homes, everybody is wonderful to her. But you know, adults have this problem, they want to teach her something. Adults have this itch, when they see a child just bouncy and joyful, they want to teach the nonsense that they learned, which never worked in their life. When I say it never worked in their life, see, between a child and you, in 24 hours' time, who is more joyful? Child. Who should be a consultant for life? Who should listen to whom? Idiots who are walking on the street thinking they are spinning the planet themselves, they should be consultants for life. Or a child who doesn't understand a damn thing and he doesn't care, he's just enjoying his presence here, you should listen to him. Because now you're churning up philosophies, be in the moment, do this, do that nonsense. All right? All of you were like that? Hello? Yes or no? So, this, I know that everybody wants to teach her something, so I put a rule. You can play with her, you can talk to her, nobody will teach her anything. No 1, 2, 3, no ABC, no Mary had a little lamb. Because I don't care Mary had a little lamb or not. People said, what are you doing to this girl? She will not even know how many fingers she has. I said, whether you call this 10 or million, what does it matter? Hello? I will say this is a million, what's the problem? Just another word. As long as she knows how to use her hands, I don't care whether she thinks this is 10 or million. So she grew up like this. And when she was around, I thought I won't send her to school, but my travels caught up with me, so I put her in a school where there is minimum amount of schooling. And when she was around 13 years of age, she came home one day, little disturbed by what happened in the school that day. Then she said, you're teaching everybody so many things, you're not teaching me anything. I said, see, I don't do things unsolicited. Now you have come, sit down here. I said, see, this is all you need to know about your life. Never look up to anybody. She looked at me like this, what about you, kind of look on her face. I said, especially me, if you look up to me, you will miss the whole point. You need to look at me for what I am. Then I'm of immense value to you. But if you look up to me, maybe you will nail my picture on your wall. And that won't help you. You've done that to many people already. So many people have been nailed on your wall, isn't it? Hello? If anybody you think is worthwhile or great, you will nail them. So that's not it. You never look up to anybody. Never look down on anybody or anything for that matter. This is all. If you do not look up to anything, do not look down on anything, you will see everything just the way it is. And that will allow you to navigate your life comfortably through everything, seeing everything as it is. The moment you think this is higher, that is lower, because 1,000,000 is more than 10, isn't it? If somebody comes here with 12 fingers or 22 fingers, oh, you think he's great? No, you think he's a freak. Hello? Yes or no? Now, because you made this normal, what's your problem if somebody had 22 fingers? Hello? This is the problem, that you have silly judgments on everything and everything. So, your education, your religion, your philosophies have done this to you. It's time you crawl a little bit on this planet, feel it the way it is, the texture of life, not the nonsense that you learn somewhere. The texture of life you must feel. If you feel that, no way you will miss the significance of soil.
So, Sadhguru, when we go in the boardroom of these big companies, the powerful people that are setting up the pyramid and that wanted to get up there because they were driven maybe by…
Usually in the pyramid, they were all dead people.
It's what it used to be. So we meet them and they see us often as a cost, sometimes as a way to implement some commitment they've made. How do we get to…
They look at you as a worm.
Yes, and they ask us why we're called like that, and we explain. But how do we touch the child in them? We know it's there, and sometimes it comes up, they laugh, but when we're in the office, when we are talking to them in an office and there are people watching, it's difficult. Yeah, sometimes we're a bit stuck with this because there's so much postures and which are slowing down the ability to connect with what you just mentioned.
See, when you said pyramid, as you know, pyramids were built for the dead. Hello? Dead idiots who want to preserve their body. I'm saying if you've not done anything eco-friendly in your life, at least allow your goddamn body to rot in the soil. You know, these days it's happening everywhere, particularly, I don't know what is happening in Europe, but in America, people are storing up the bodies in racks in a building like a parking lot. See, one important thing you need to do is, when you're done with this, you collected it from the soil, yes, the food that you eat. At least when you're done with it, you must put it back where it belongs, isn't it? Nope, you started making wooden coffins, that was not enough, now they're making aluminum and steel coffins, that is not enough, they put a concrete tub and in that they put the coffin. Now that is not enough, there's not enough space for that, they're racking them up in a building like it's a cars parked in a parking lot. Well, and somebody is advertising, somebody has built a company, I don't know if you're working with them. Somebody has made a company, I'm sure you're not. They have made a company where they're telling you for 1.2 or $1.4 million, they will get your body and leave it in the space. Take your body and leave it in the space when you die. Not now, when you're dead. So they will leave it there so that you will float in space, your body will float in space forever. This is the worst thing you can do. Earth soil, you want to export it to space? At least when you're done, damn, put it back, no? Hello? About these people.
Yes.
You're talking about the mummies in the pyramid.
Those in the top, who are very, very fast from the
Have you
sun.
ever visited the Egyptian pyramids?
No.
Now you should go, because it's right at the top and quite a journey. It's like a womb, you have to really go into it. And right there at the top, one small niche, these millions of tons of stone were used to just create a room which is just about like 8 by 12 or something. This is some great infrastructure to build. I know it's a marvel right now in the world. I appreciate that. I know there are certain reasons why it was built for certain angles and stuff, that is fine. But I'm saying, if you think you're high above, that means you're far removed from life, that's what it means. If you think you're up somewhere above everybody, what it means is you're far removed from life. If you're removed from life, there are two ways, you're removed from life or life is removed from you. One of these things, all right, they're not very different. One is dead, another is living dead. You may think it's success, but people are walking on the street, a whole lot of them, unfortunately, are walking like it's the end of the world. Hello? I'm saying the expression. What for? What are you here for? See, this… I really thought this virus, this pandemic will wake up people because mortality was hung in front of your face irrespective of your age or your health condition, isn't it? You're healthy but you could be dead tomorrow morning. So when mortality is hung in your face, I thought people will wake up because one of the first things we do in the yogic system is, if somebody says genuinely, not like how they're saying in the West, their idea of spiritual journey is they will buy a spiritual bath soap or they got a crystal that they found which is spiritual, leaving that. If somebody genuinely says they want to walk the spiritual path, first thing is we make them volunteer in the cremation grounds. They must go sit there, watch the bodies being burnt every day, because you must clearly… your body, not just you in the head, that you reminded yourself, your body should know it's mortal. When it knows it's mortal, it behaves completely differently and very sensibly, that you know you have a limited amount of time. Well, we don't want to die today, we would like to kick the can as much as possible, but you know it's mortal. If you're conscious that you're mortal, you would rearrange your life very differently, not above, on the ground. Yes or no? Hello? If you knew that your life here is brief and it's on a time leash and it's getting over, right now what is ticking is not the clock, but your life ticking away every moment. Since you came here, you're about an hour closer to your grave, I'm just reminding you. All of us. Hello? Yes, it is. See, this is not some morbid thought. You made it like this, that death is something unnatural, you should not think about it. No, death is very natural. The most natural thing that happens to you in your life is birth and death, isn't it so? Hello? This is the most natural thing that you do. So I thought this pandemic will bring home something, 2 years of constantly living under the shadow of death. If you do not know this, I published a book just a month before pandemic called Death, the Inside Story, okay? So it's a bestseller in India, we did not release it anywhere else because I think in India there's little more awareness about one's mortality than the rest of the world who walk around as if they're immortal. This immortality is insensitivity. If you understand you're mortal, you would be far more sensitive to life. If you're conscious that right now you're mortal, as you sit here, your life is ticking away, how you respond to life around you would be very different. This is not just to human beings, this would be to everything, everything. Life itself, the source of life itself, not just the worms, not just the microbes, the very elements which make you. The water that you drink, the food that you eat, the air that you breathe, you would respond to everything differently if you are conscious that you're mortal right now. And if you remain conscious, this would naturally blossom within you. Right now, this is the most important thing. I thought this pandemic will do that. And people asking me, Sadhguru, why did you publish this book just before the pandemic? You knew it is coming. That also they want to blame it on me.
So basically what you're saying is reconnecting them to life and death. Or making them more aware that, or just conscious of that process and that
See,
cycle.
not reconnecting them to life and death. There are no two things. Right now, I can say I'm living, or I can say I'm dying. Both are true, isn't it? Hello? I'm dying right now. One day the process will be complete. Right now, is the process on or no? Hello? Immortal people, I'm asking. Those in the upper regions. It is already on. It is not different. We call it by two different names, but it's actually the same thing happening right now. So this is the nature of our existence. In our minds, because we are intellectually approaching everything, we create polarities. We create polarities simply because our intellect, the data collection for our intellect happens through our five senses. And our five senses are made like this. If you see this part of my hand, you cannot see this part of my hand. This is the nature of your vision, isn't it? Even if you take a grain of sand, if you see one part, you can't see the other part. Do what you want. If you hear the sound, you can't hear the silence. If you see dark, you can't see light. So, we have created polarities in our mind because our mind is fed with this half-baked information. This information is good for survival. Survival is always you versus something, isn't it? If the ant bites you, crush it, because it's you versus him. If a tiger comes, okay, you can't crush him, but do something. Because survival is always you versus you, or you versus the other. So the problem with these people is, they think they have gone to the top, but they're in basic survival mode. They can't come to ease. If you can't come to ease, if there is no ease in you, you will never blossom because you're always like this. That means you're constipated. No, I'm not just talking about that constipation alone. Essentially, constipation means life doesn't happen as an outburst. It happens little by little. That's constipation. So your joy, your love, your peacefulness, everything happens little by little. And you're counting people, today I'm with a journalist and he's asking me, tell me 5 dates in your life which were significant for you. I said, I can't think of any damn date like that. Because for me, every moment has been super significant for me. No, we have a format, you have to tell me what are the dates. I said, 1947. He said, why? India became independent. Then tell me 4 more dates. He said, 4 more dates. I said, okay, 1957. He asked why. I said, I was born. So, this problem of making one thing more significant than the other has come because the very information gathering mechanism that you have is the 5 senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. All of these things only give you part by part information, never gives you a whole picture of anything. So from this comes your education, from this comes your whole proficiency in many things. It's all bits and pieces. These bits and pieces, you can never put it together. But what you do is, as you get more and more qualified, I don't know what is your qualifications, all of you, those guys must be all PhD or…
Very high, they're high up.
High up there. So, what happens is, when you get this whatever qualification, this is a limitless number of pieces. Let's say a 1 trillion-piece jigsaw, but you found 5 pieces, you put it together and say, I told you it's a bear. All right. That's what is happening right now. Right now, the soil scientists in the world, people who have invested their life into soil science, they're humble enough to admit that we do not even know 1% of the life in the soil. With our life of study, 1%. With 1%, whatever decisions you make are bound to be wrong decisions, isn't it? Hello?
What you said about the survival mode before and the competition, it's funny because what got us and our agricultural system into this place, and you described it in the video, that we've been producing one crop. We want wheat, we want corn, we want rice, and then we kill everything that is around those crops to produce it. So we kind of make them compete to get what we need and as much as we can out of it. We use chemicals, etc. And what I see with the regenerative agriculture movement is really an opportunity to get the species. I don't know if some of you are familiar with permaculture. I'm sure yes. How to get those species to grow together, to enhance each other, to work together. And I feel somehow there is a parallel in the way we regenerate soil to maybe how we can regenerate some of society, of our way of being, and with which should we start first? Maybe that's…
Because without some transformation in the human beings, their actions will not be productive, they will be destructive. See, we must first of all understand, all this has happened not because of some evil design. All this has happened in pursuit of human happiness and well-being. Yes or no? There was no evil person sitting somewhere and planning how to destroy this planet. There's no such thing. It is all in pursuit of our happiness and well-being. Why such a thing happens? See, suppose you sat in your car and you want to move forward, but you engage reverse gear and press the throttle, you know what happens. Maybe you will enter your kitchen or bedroom going backwards through the garage. Right now, that's what is happening. Or let me tell you a better story. This is the case of a potato farmer. One day a potato farmer wanted to eat apples. So he went to the apple tree, but out of sheer habit he started digging for apples. When he did not find any, he became furious and dug furiously. Then the tree came down upon him. That is what we are doing right now. Because human experience is generated from within you. Pain and pleasure happens from within you. Joy and misery happens from within you. Agony and ecstasy happens from within you. Anything that ever happened to you happened from within you, isn't it so? Hello? Anything that you've ever experienced happened within you or did it happen here? I know people told you love is in the air. If it happened within you, it happened, otherwise it did not happen. So, an experience or the seat of experience is within you. Whatever experience you want to have, pleasant or unpleasant, you need to turn inward. Instead of that, you're trying to squeeze the world. So in this effort, like a potato farmer who's digging up for apples, he will never find apples, but he will turn the whole planet upside down. And this ability to turn the planet upside down has been hugely enhanced because of technological capability, because of machinery and things like that. What 10,000 men could not do in a day, now one machine will turn it around, all right? One guy sitting on the machine is doing 10,000 people's work. So for that, the planet is not enough. So essentially, we have competence and capability and intelligence which can only function consciously. If it functions instinctively and compulsively like any other creature, every other creature can function instinctively and compulsively because their competence is very low. Human competence is at such a level. At this level of competence, you're supposed to function consciously. You're the only creature on this planet. I'm not talking about the earthworm. The human being. You're the only creature on this planet who is referred to as a being, isn't it? There's no tiger being, no elephant being, no ant being, no such thing. Only this one is a being. This means you're supposed to know how to be. Somebody had hopes on you.
And Sadhguru, what you said was powerful in the sense that often in the ecology movement or in the environmental movement, we see a lot of people trying to find who is guilty. They try to say it's the big company. No, it's the farmer, he's spraying pesticides, he's the bad farmer. Or some people say, no, it's the old generation, they ruined the world. And it always ends up in kind of a game of who's going to win and who's guilty. And where I think somehow we could be trying to find solutions, but there is always a way to get people to fight about something.
See, if you utter the word ecology or environment, or let's say ecologist or an environmentalist, first thing is you must find out whose face you want to bash. Otherwise you're not an environmentalist. They're asking me, what kind is he? I'm not your kind for sure, because all of us, doesn't matter what is the nature of your work, who you are, all of us are partners in this destruction. Yes or no? Knowingly, right now this light is burning, something is burning somewhere, isn't it? You don't know whether it is gas or gasoline or coal or what the hell it is, something is burning. Every one of us are partners in this destruction. The only way to turn it around is every one of us become partners in the solution. There is simply no other way. People coming to me, Sadhguru, can you fight these fertilizer companies? They're so terrible. Why are they so terrible? Oh, they've caused so much damage. I said, see, if they have the capacity to cause so much damage, we need them for the solution, isn't it? Hello? They're capable of so much. Don't we need them for the solution? We need them. Businesses need not be beaten down, they need to be transformed for sure. Nor individual human beings need to be beaten down, they also need to be transformed.
Today we had one question, and I think everyone realizes, you know, when you buy paper, when you buy, I don't know, wood, etc., you know you have an influence on forests, you start to try to change your consuming behaviors, companies start to buy things differently and they start transforming. But soil, and I had the product manager for cereal brands, and they were like, how do I tell people about soil? There's no label, there's no certification scheme. How do I tell them? How do I understand it? Because I can't explain to them the microbes and the organic matter and the humus and all these names. Already I lost them. How do I tell them? How do I get them involved? How do I get them to become a partner of the solution? Easy question.
See, today you're here, alive. You drink water, you eat food, all those things are there. But right now, if you keep your mouth shut and just hold your nose like this for 3 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes, I'll give you, because many of you are practicing inner engineering, so I'll give you 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you will be dead. Yes or no? What happened? The only thing that happened is, you lost your contact with the atmosphere, which means medically, it's not the only thing, but medically, you did not get the oxygen that you need. So let me tell you the story. You heard of that man or woman, that caveman, usually it said caveman, as if women did not exist then. Were you around? Okay. Now we're talking about 40,000, 50,000 years ago, when some caveman or cave woman came up with a smart idea that we could use fire to cook our food. Grand idea, isn't it? How many things you're enjoying today because of that one discovery that somebody realized that they could cook food with fire. Much before you, much before the ladies, cave ladies, doesn't sound good, caveman sounds good. So, nearly 1 billion years before that, one very smart fungi or an algae, we do not know. Like we do not know whether it is a man or woman, we do not know whether it's a fungi or an algae. Really smart one learned how to cook its food from the perpetual energy of the sun. Solar cooking, you know. It learned this before this happened, before this discovery happened by this very smart fungi. The oxygen content in the atmosphere on this planet was a shade over 1%. Today it's 21%. It is because of this phenomena that we call as photosynthesis that the oxygen content in the atmosphere has increased to 21%. So, the source of your life is just this, that this life started doing photosynthesis, out of that came more complex life in the form of plants and trees, out of that came animals and, well, we are here today, wondering who the hell we are. And it is because of that. But what has happened on the planet now is, in the last 1,000 years ago, how much photosynthesis was happening, and today, how much is happening, the drop is 85%. But all the people are only talking about carbon dioxide. I am not saying that's not an issue, that is an issue. But I thought you need oxygen, hello? Are there CO2 people? We need oxygen. And one process that is generating and putting oxygen back into the system all the time is this green leaf. All this… no, I thought you were all green people. This green leaf is taking the carbon, making it into carbon sugars, passing it down to the soil so that the microbial life will give them the nutrients. And oxygen as waste, it is throwing it into the atmosphere, which is our life source. Hello? A plant's waste material is our life source. I want you to understand, down in the soil, this is how it is. From one species to another species of microorganisms, one species' excreta is the food for the next one and the next one. If the carbon sugars go through 3 to 4 species, then that carbon stays in the soil for over 1,000 years. That's what needs to happen, more photosynthesis. How do we do it? Oh, let's do rainforest. Then you don't know what is rainforest, because a rainforest would take 1,000 years to create. Even if you plant all the necessary things in a place, minimum 1,000 years it will take for it to genuinely become a rainforest. So you don't talk about rainforests, you just talk about photosynthesis, because we can put it back. You can't put back rainforest just like that. That's not a joke. That's not something that you do in a generation. If we withdraw, maybe rainforest will come up in 500,000 years. If you assist, maybe you can reduce it by 20% of the time, probably. I don't know. Nobody knows because nobody's ever created. But possibly because we have created small forests, looking at how ecosystem comes back like that, maybe we can reduce the time that it takes, instead of 1,000 years, maybe we can do it in 800 years or 700 years or 500 years, I don't know. But we could reduce the time with some assistance. But that is not even a practical solution, because 500 years is not a time that you can plan for, all right? You can plan, if you plan for 50 years, that's a big deal. 500 years human beings cannot plan because we don't know what will happen in 500 years. Anything could happen, all right? It would be wasteful to create infrastructure for 500 years later. We at least create infrastructure for 2 generations from now. That much must happen for every generation. At least next 2 generations you're taking care of. So, let us not talk about building back forests. One important thing that needs to happen in this whole process is, because you are with corporations, I'm telling you and also everybody, is the term forest produce must go out of our vocabulary. There is no such thing. There must be no produce from the forest, it's over. That phase of our life is over. Whatever you're getting from the forest, you must grow it on your farmland. If you want timber, you must grow it on the farmland. You want honey, you must grow it on the farmland. Whatever you need that you were earlier getting from the forest must happen on the farmland. That will be very, very beneficial for protecting the forest, above all, for enhancing the farmland.
I think that's a good business plan.
It is. I must tell you, the business is already on. See, in India, today it is happening seamlessly in some places we are still struggling to get the laws changed. There were laws like this. If you grow a tree in your own land, a farmer for example, and at some point when he needs it, if he cuts it, he could be arrested for that. Because the tree belongs to the government. It's crazy. Because of this, nobody wants a tree on their land. If I can't use it, why will I use my land to grow something? So I've been pushing for this, that the law should come that a farmer can grow what he wants and use it as he wants. Only then he will grow trees. So it took 7.5 years and in these 7.5 years, unfortunately, 3 governments changed in that state. So 3 times starting from ABC once again. And I had to put dedicated people to move the goddamn file from table to table. Table to table, there is so much inertia out there. For so many reasons, because one thing is we can't pay, we only got dedication and commitment, we got no money to move things. So, I have put people there every day, morning, evening, they're going to the office trying to push the thing to the next table. Somehow it moved and today we have laws. They have cleared most of the species, a few species they've still not cleared, that today you can grow and fell it when you want. Based on this law, we created a whole project called Kaveri Calling. On this we wrote a policy called Rally for Rivers, which is the official policy of the Indian government now for all the 28 states. It is the first time that a private agency a policy document generated by a private organization has become a policy in India for the very first time. It's a recommended policy for all 28 states. And based on that, this Kaveri Calling project, these were all… some of them were happening simultaneously. Now, today, if a farmer plants a tree, we geocode this in collaboration with the ISRO, which is the Indian Space Research Organization, free of cost they're doing this for us, that they geocode an individual tree. So the farmer every year on that given date, he has to take a picture and send it, put it on the government website. Within 10 to 12 hours, he gets the money for the growth of the tree, growth-related subsidy. Apart from that, we created a digital market. The government of India did this, but with our impetus, they did this. Today there's a digital market which still needs to be activated in a much bigger way, but it is on, that you can sell a 4-year-old tree 10 years later. That is, now you can sell it. They fix the price now, and at 5 years, if you say, see, my tree has grown this much, the girth is this much, if you show a picture, they will pay you something. 6 years, you show, they'll pay you something. When it completes its term, when they come to fill it, they'll pay the full amount. But the farmer doesn't have to wait for 15 years, he starts getting something. What has happened out of this is, for many farmers, every 12 years, when they selectively fell a few trees, they're getting enough money which is equivalent to they selling their land. So every 12 years, they sell the land and keep the land. This needs to happen, because if you do not make agriculture into a very lucrative process, it will die. It is happening already. We made some kind of a survey in India, 63% of India's population is right now engaged in agriculture. Well, we need to reduce that population, that's a different thing. But when we surveyed this, not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. So in another 25 years, when this generation passes, what are they going to do? What is the plan for food production? Because this is not a simple thing. Making mud into food is not a simple thing, it's magical. If you live on a farm, you will understand how magical it is, how empty bare land, boom, it'll come up and then it becomes food that you eat, is not a small thing, and there's an intrinsic knowledge which is very, very important. If this talent of transforming mud into food is erased from the planet or from given societies or nations, the kind of situations you will face in the next 25 years is not very pleasant.
Sadhguru, I think just one last question from me. I think everything you say makes me think about the earthworm. The earthworm goes between the surface and the depth, and it keeps going up and down between where there is air and where there is no air, keeping circulating. And you're talking about theory and practice, about spirituality and action. You're talking to the big guys, to the big leaders of this world, but you're also talking to the farmers in India to make change. If there was one thing you wanted to tell us for us to become earthworms as well, what would it be?
See, if I tell all the people who live in the city, go and work in a farm, have an experience of that, they'll go and ruin the farms. They better stay in the city. Or another thing is, people will say, Sadhguru, I'm going to go and fix my garden. That's very cute of you, but it's not a solution. Now you're in the city, that means at least you have Wi-Fi. Hello? And you have an instrument in your hand. You have a smartphone or a dumb phone? Hello? Smartphone. So you should not use your smartphone to send silly messages. Hello? It's not befitting of a smartphone to send silly messages. You can do a little bit of it, but I allow some margin for that. But this is a powerhouse. If you just learn how to use it, sitting here, you can transform the world. Yes or no? This is what you need to do, that instead of doing what you can do, you will say, I will go work on the farm. Oh, you will be a disaster, most of you at least, because you're not equipped for that. Not only that, and the farmer and the earthworm has to suffer you. More people on the farm is not the answer. What is important right now is, we are democratically ruled nations largely. In a democracy, there are two things, you have a vote and you have a voice. I will not mess with your vote, that's your choice. But your voice must raise for concerns that matter to you and the future of humanity. Right now, that's all I'm asking you. Shall we do it tomorrow? No, it has to happen now, because in a concerted way, if the population of the world speaks, only then the governments will have the confidence to go for long-term policy making. Why this is the issue is, we must understand, we have given them a mandate only for 4 to 5 years in most nations. Hello? So suppose you were elected to be the president or prime minister of this country and you have 5 years, what would be your natural tendency, what best you can do for 5 years, that's what you want to do, yes or no? Because your mandate is for 5 years. After 5 years, you don't know who will be there. You don't know. Especially if you take a long-term policy, for sure you will not be there. Yes, this has repeatedly happened everywhere, isn't it? People who do populistic things are there for long periods of time. Those who do genuine work are gone in 5 years' time. Has it not happened in any number of countries? Hello? So now, I want you, the people of this world, to give this confidence to democratically elected governments. If you do something that will bear fruit after 15 years, after 20 years, we are still with you. Whether you are there or not, if you make these investments in this country, we are with you. We don't… See, you need to understand, whoever you are, as it is in your families, in a country, however rich or well a country is, resources are always limited. If you do this, something here goes missing, all right? This is the nature of things. So when you say, I am standing up for long-term policies, which is the well-being of my children and their children, we are looking at this and we are willing to be with you, it means something you may have to forego somewhere. But I'm telling you, financial investments are not the problem because finances needed are not very big. It is the commitment which is missing. It is the relentless focused in one direction which is missing. For that also, without people giving a mandate, how will any government do? First, I want you to understand, you or anybody did not elect a government to do something fantastic. You elected them to fulfill your desires, isn't it? In which country upon this planet have 60% of the population spoken that we are ready for long-term investments, we are ready for long haul, we want to think long-term well-being of this planet and future generations? Tell me in which country? Has anywhere people spoken? Then how do you expect the governments to do it? This is the time to speak. Let's make it happen.
So, I think now it's time for you guys to ask a few questions to Sadhguru. So, okay. So the microphone…
Please wait for the microphone.
Should we give you this one?
No, they have a microphone.
Okay.
Is this microphone?
We'll take only questions, not a commentary, please, right now. Hello?
Hello? Test? Yeah, I will do, yeah. Hello, my name is Armin Rutkai. I'm nationality planet Earth. So, me myself, first of all, I want to say hello to everybody. Hello to planet Earth. Hello to you, Sadhguru. I think everybody here in this room want to thank you for what you have done. We are really happy to have you here. So, I am an electrical engineer, maybe a little bit a hobby guru and a hobby philosopher, I don't know. But I also have done many projects in Africa. I electrified many villages. I done in Egypt developing of water pumping systems with farming.
No, we value everything
yes,
that you are, but please come to the question because everybody's time.
I'm not here to ask a question. I'm here to provide you, Sadhguru, with something really special.
Please do that privately, I will listen to you, please. This is everybody's time.
You will listen to me?
Yes,
this
is everybody's time, please.
I just want to give the world a lot of hope, and I want to tell them that we can do a big change, and it will happen in a few years, and now I'm here to promise you that this will happen.
Okay.
Sadhguru, thank you for your meeting later on. Thank you.
Please, only questions, okay? If you have any, otherwise we can make some music. Whoever, please.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
Where are you? Okay.
Here. Namaskaram. My name is Yael. I'm from Switzerland. I live in Bern. I've heard you, you have reiterated FAO statement that we may have only 60 years of soil left. So this issue is really, really urgent. But online I've seen people, they have questioned this and they asked for more evidence. Shouldn't they leave this? What do you think?
What's your name, you said?
Yael.
Yeah?
Yael.
Yael. Okay. Yael, I don't intend to do this, but suppose I have an intention to murder you. Is there any evidence? Evidence will come only after you murdered, isn't it? Hello? Is there any evidence that somebody has an intention of doing something terrible? No. Now in this case, there is substantial evidence even before the intention itself has been expressed. You're talking about a very senior person in UNFAO who said this, there's only 60 years. All right, what is this online scientist's argument? No, it is 67 years, is it? Are you crazy? Whether it's 60 years or 120 years, what does it matter? We are moving in that direction of soil extinction. Isn't that the important thing? Hello? So, this kind of nitpicking is happening because these are WhatsApp scientists. They read 2 messages somewhere and they become scientists. People have invested their entire life in this science. Please listen to them. Everybody is saying somewhere around that time. Somebody says 60 years, somebody says 80 years. It doesn't matter whether it's 60 years or 600 years. But if we are moving towards the path of destruction, is it not time to turn around? I'm asking you. Oh.
Hello, my name is Sina, and I want to help save the soil, so I have a question. How can I, as a kid, help to save the soil?
Well, you know, our children at the Isha Home School took this commitment that they will get 10 million children in India to write to the Prime Minister. Yesterday's numbers, they sent me how many letters have gone. By now, Prime Minister's office is inundated with children's letters of paintings and drawings and save soil. It is nowhere near 10 million yet, but it doesn't matter how many million. But when children write, if 1 million children write to your Prime Minister or any Prime Minister or President, do you think he will be unmoved and untouched by the whole thing and say, hell with it? Hello? Do you think so? No. You need to understand this painting of political leaders as some kind of crazy people who came from somewhere, no. They were like you and me, they were willing to stand up and do the work that you were not willing to do. That's what it means in a democracy. Hello? They didn't drop upon us from somewhere else. Well, once they get there, so many things might have happened, you may like them, you may dislike them, you have a right to like and dislike them, but are you willing to do the job? Most of you are no, I'm telling you. And if you get there, will you do a better job? I don't think so. You may have better ideas, but idea is different, execution on a large scale is different. Everybody can have ideas. To put it into action, there are so many issues and there are so many problems. So, as a child, you… Sanya, that's her name? Yep. If you can get at least 1,000 children to write letters to your Prime Minister that this soil is important for us, do something. 1,000 will do in a small country like this. The methodology of how to do it, you employ whatever you want, whichever way, you dance, you sing, do something, get all the children in various schools to write letters. Oh yeah, please. Thank you. Hello, come here. Come here. Oh, you too. So, here you got all this, see, this is what I was saying, all these little children all over the planet. Huh? You must get them going. How many are here around this planet? How many?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm counting it as 1,000. So 1,000 children, you make them write to the Prime Minister, okay? Do that. Oh, all the artists are here, please hold it. You do one thing, you keep it with you, I will sign it and give it to you. You join Sanya and make it 2,000. Okay? 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 Yep. Take this with you. Oh. Oh. Where is this? Oh, Switzerland soil.
Yes.
But I don't want to take it all the way to India. Should we not put it back where it belongs? Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, sir, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, Sadhguru. My name is Manuela. Thank you for tonight. I have a question. How can we make this important environmental cause really cool and trendy so our youth can do anything to make it happen on social media? And
You think I'm not cool enough?
Yeah, you're amazing. But in Switzerland, what could we do?
See, right now what we are aiming at is a policy to protect soils. Why I'm insisting on policy is, see now he's an earthworm, I'm just a worm. So let's say he's got that much area of land under him, either he owns it or he has control over it or he has influence over it. Let's say he does a great job. I have an influence over a certain amount of land, I will do a great job. What is the guarantee the next generation will do the same thing? Unless it's enshrined in the policy, it will not stay that way. That is the important thing we need to understand. See, if you have 10,000 square feet of land in Geneva, an urban land, you cannot build 10,000 square feet of building, isn't it? There is a law, how much you can build. Some space you have to allow for yourself, your neighbor and stuff. But if you have 10 acres of land in the rural part of this country, you can plow every inch of it and in 10 years you can turn it into a desert. Generally, in most nations, there is not one law to even question you, why have you done this? I'm saying soil is not our property, it's a legacy. It belongs to the future generations also. This is not the end of the world. Unfortunately, this generation is calling themselves Generation Z. I'm telling them, don't do that, that looks like the last generation to me. Don't call yourself Z, call yourself something else. So, right now UNFAO is saying, the food that we are eating right now, it doesn't even belong to your children, it belongs to the unborn child. In my emotion, eating away the food of the unborn child sounds like crime against humanity to me. That's how I feel. I don't know. It's important that everybody feels this way because an unborn child means the most helpless creature. Hello? Even if a tiny little child, I'm saying, even if a 5-year-old boy or girl, if you try to do something, they will also fight. Some defense is there. An unborn child means absolutely at your mercy, and you eat up their food. What kind of people are we? We need to change that.
And our evening, unfortunately, is ticking. We have time for one final question from the balcony upstairs. There is a roving mic, so please ask your question.
Thank you, Sadhguru. My name is Ruby, and I'm from India. I have one question for you. I attended your event last evening at UN Palais also, and I still have one question. As you know, Geneva is the hub for commodity trading, especially agri-based commodity trading products. So you did speak about what common people like us and what the governments could do. My question to you is, what do you think the large and the small commodity trading players, particularly the ones in the agri-based commodity, could do to save the soil? Thank you.
Action will come to all those things over a period of time. Right now, I'm insisting on this because I am a horribly pragmatic person, okay? So horribly pragmatic, some people think I'm not even spiritual. Because, somebody comes to me, some celebrity kind of person, in a conversation like this, he's sitting like this and so, final question, Sadhguru, how to beat Pakistani team in the cricket game? I said, why you want to beat Pakistanis in the cricket game? When you're playing a cricket game, you just got to hit the goddamn ball, not Pakistanis. You don't try to hit the Pakistanis, you hit the ball. Instead of hitting the ball, you're trying to hit somebody. That's not what the game is about. Right now, this is what I'm telling you. This is about policy change. If the policy doesn't change, you do some nice things, I do some nice things, it's not going to last. We've already done those things plenty. You might have also done very wonderful things, but it will not last unless it's instituted in the policy. So first thing is, the most simple thing that we are asking is just this, because we want to ensure at this stage of policy, nobody is against it. In the last 2 years, I've spoken to thousands of people, all sorts of people. Not one person has said this is not necessary. Because what I'm asking is such. What I'm asking is just this. If you have agricultural land, give incentives to make it 3 to 6% organic content. Where is it right now? In Northern Europe, average is 1.48%, which for a temperate climate is very bad. Why I'm saying for temperate climate bad is you're using the soil only for 4 to 5 months and it is only 1.48, that's very bad. In Southern Europe, it's just a shade over 1%, 1.1, 1.2%. This, if it drops below 1%, it's called desertification in a temperate climate. In Africa, it is 0.3%. It is desert. On an average, whole thing is desert. In India, the average is 0.68, which is again a desert. So, when this is the thing, the most important thing is in every nation, because when it comes to ecology, when it comes to soil, your national boundaries mean nothing, okay? These are human problems that we have cut the planet like a cake and said, this is my planet, this is your planet, and constantly we are going about fighting on imaginary lines that we have drawn in our heads. Hello? No, you call it a map, but it's your head, isn't it? Hello? These imaginary lines that we've drawn, if these lines are for administrative efficiency, it's okay. But now these lines have become concretized in such a way in our minds and hearts, we will fight and die, and we are willing to kill the whole world if necessary, because my piece of the cake. So this is another matter, let's not go there. Right now, the important thing is, we want every nation in the world, not just one nation, every nation in the world to come up with this policy, minimum 3 to 6% agricultural soil must have that much organic content. Why is this? Because that is the minimum necessary to keep the soil organisms alive. Whether you eat or not, it's up to you. I'm leaving it to you. I'm saying I'm not forcing that you must eat. Isn't it nice? Hello? Whether you want to eat or not, whether you want to feed your children or not, I will leave that choice to you. But we have an obligation to the life on this planet that soil should stay alive. If you don't live well, that's up to you. Future generations must have the opportunity to live well. For that, the base is soil must be alive. First of all, to understand soil is a living entity. It's not an inert substance. The next thing to understand is, to keep it alive, to keep the organisms alive and active, it needs a minimum of 3. 3 is not the ideal, minimum is 3. Today, there are about 2 billion people on the planet who are water-stressed. What water-stressed means is that 2 billion people every day fight and struggle to get their drinking water and their daily potable water. By 2032, it's expected water stress will stretch to 3.5 billion people. If 3.5 billion people are finding difficulty in having drinking water on a daily basis, you think you can keep Geneva fine with a big lake like this? You think you can stop a few billion people from coming here? Your armies, your police, your nonsense, your laws will not work when a billion people start moving. Hello? It is expected by 2032, 1.2 billion people will be migrating on this planet. There is no way you're going to stop such a wave of humanity. All that'll happen is, your humanity will evaporate and you will behave like a beast to protect what is yours, and they will behave in another way to get what they want. This is not a world you want to create. For water to be present everywhere, the most important thing is the organic content. If you raise the organic content to 8 to 12% in a given soil, your irrigation requirement will come down to 30% of what it is right now. That is, if you're using 100 liters, it'll come down to 30 liters. If you raise the organic content to 12 to 15%, your irrigation requirement will come to 10 to 15%. That is, 100 liters will shrink to 15 liters. Right now, nearly 67 to 68% of the world's fresh water is used for agriculture. All the stuff that we're using, 67% or more is used for that. In India, we're using 84% of our water resources for agriculture. If you reduce this to 30%, would it make a huge difference for human beings wherever they're living? Hello? So the first and foremost thing is, there must be a universal policy across the world that if you own lands, minimum 3% must be there. How do you enforce this? You can't enforce this right now. You can give incentives. Right now, 1.48 is the average in this part of the world. If you give an incentive that if you make it 3%, you will get this much money, farmers will strive to get it there. Now, once they get the incentive, there is also a carbon market which also they can access. People like… what's Bastien? I keep saying Sebastian, I'm sorry. So, they are there, they can link these things and farmers can benefit from the carbon market. That's the second stage of benefit. The third stage of benefit is when you go to the market, you're right now falling for this trick of organic. You go and buy an organic apple. What are the rest of the apples? Inorganic, is it? I'm asking you. You don't know what they are, all right? So people are trying to quantify how much fertilizer, how much pesticide. I'm telling you, you can never find out 100%. It's just a vague measure. Instead of that, if you say, this apple comes from 3% organic content land, it comes from a land regenerated to 3%. Now, there is a whole science to tell you if an apple grows in 3% organic content, what are the extra nutrients it has? What will it do to you in terms of your health and well-being? What are the ailments it'll prevent for you? What are the possibilities for you and your health? So there is already enough science, we need to collate that. So the third stage of benefit for the farmer is the marketplace. In the marketplace, it'll find its own level. So if you go to the marketplace and here is one apple that comes from 3% organic content, here is another that comes from 6% organic content. You can choose to buy this may cost 10% more or whatever more, but you can choose to buy it because instead of eating 5 apples, you can eat 1. That is what it means. That means all of us can eat less and still be well-nourished, which is very important for your health and well-being. One reason lot of physical ailments or chronic ailments is people are eating much more than what they should eat. That means you're processing much more raw material to get that much of energy. People keep asking me, Sadhguru, where is your energy coming? Oh, that was the first question. See, if you eat properly, only 40%, if you live properly rather, only 40% of your energy should come from the food that you eat. The remaining 60% should come from the sunlight, water and air that you breathe. For this, you need to do some little inner engineering for yourself and what kind of food and how you eat. Not only what you eat, how you eat also makes a huge difference. If you regulate these things, I'm not use the word regulate, if you consciously eat, if you consciously live, all these things will fall into place. That's why this is under the umbrella of conscious planet, because what we need is a conscious planet. It should have happened without loss, but that didn't happen. The only way to push it is with loss. So right now, when you're taking this step, don't talk about the 10th step, because you'll fall flat on your face. Hello? You take this step properly. Right now, the first step is, we move 3 to 4 billion people on the planet. Once you do this, no government will reject this, I'm telling you. I'm speaking at the COP15 and already the Commonwealth nations have made a declaration, 54 nations accounting for 2.7 billion people, they've already said they will push the soil policy in their countries. The CARICOM nations in Caribbean region have already committed, they've signed agreements with us. Now, in COP15, 170 nations are being represented. Here the agenda is soil this time. And in the World Economic Forum, this time soil agenda will be an important part, for sure, never before it's been. For the first time in a business meeting, soil agenda will be important. So businesses will do what they do, but I'm telling you, even if they're very large businesses, their influence in the soil is still small compared to the size of world's agriculture. It's still small. Yes, they need to do what they have to do, but that's not where the main piece is. The main piece is in governments offering incentives for raising organic content, then businesses can come in, carbon markets can come in, then the marketplace of produce will go into different stages depending upon how carbon's effective it is, the food that you're growing, what is the organic content in that sense. This is how it needs to happen. When you're taking this step, please don't talk about the 10th step, because that is how most movements have ended. I want you to understand this, of all the ecological stuff that we have spoken, environmental things that we have spoken, the only one thing, one convention that's happened successfully is about fixing the ozone holes, because that was a convention with a single agenda. All others are talking about 100 agendas. That means only conferences will happen. This is not… I'm not doing this for entertainment. This is not a joyride for me. If I want to take a joyride, I will take it somewhere else. At 30,000 kilometers is definitely not a joyride, I want you to know. In 100 days, there's not a single day for contingencies. People's faith in me in such, not a single day has been built as a contingency. If the man or the machine fails, what to do? There is not a single day's break anywhere. So this is not a joyride. This is a life's commitment. 30 years I've spoken about it endlessly, but people did not wake up, so we're doing this. If you have woken up, wake up the rest of the world. Do whatever the hell you have to do.
you very much to Sadhguru. Thank you very much to Bastien Sachet, the CEO of Earthworm. So, it's now time for a big thank you to both of them and Sadhguru.
Always people are asking, what can we do, what can we do? One thing is, follow the journey and Save Soil, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Learn to use these platforms because I want you to understand this is the first time in the history of humanity that you have the ability to sit in your own home and reach the world. This is the first time. Don't waste this opportunity. Share SaveSoil.org website as many people as you can, make Save Soil song reverberate in the world. You can download it from the website. Your children write a letter to the Prime Minister or President of country, you write a letter to the local representative, your MP or whoever he is, and put up Save Soil stickers on your cars. If you don't have a car, on your face.
Now, we have a surprise for you, ladies and gentlemen. A little surprise for you. You all know the very famous Chateau, right, at the Lac Léman. It is lit up and blue and green color tonight, especially for Save Soil.
Whoa.
So check it out. Go there if you can this evening. It starts at sunset. And hashtag Save Soil, of course, to spread it on social media as well. I would like not just to thank Sadhguru from all my heart, and of course Bastien Sachet as well from Earthworm, but also the Isha volunteers here in green, and all of you for coming tonight. Now, beyond race, religion, gender, geography, soil is really the unifier. This is really reflected in our room here tonight, a huge and beautiful mosaic of different people. Now, it's a global effort, of course, to save our planet's soil from extinction. Now, here is the soil song, which has been created to really spread waves and, soil positivity around the world. It's a dance for Earth as well, so we can all get a little bit active and joyful tonight to celebrate soil and really, really make an impact.
I must keep the jig going for next 83 days.
Oh yes, and we want to see you
Geneva,
dancing.
every day somewhere somebody should be dancing, all right?
So let's start the dance and follow the hashtag Save Soil, and also the website, of course, savesoil.org for more information. Let's get the party started.
This very body is soil. My body, your body, everybody is just soil body. The magic of soil is it turns death into life. Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
We'll take one with the audience as well, selfie style.
Oh.
Hello, say hi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
What's up? What happened? Hey, go.
Il est temps de s'éveiller. Notre sol nous devons sauver.